Moms and dads, what are the signs of a good daycare or preschool? Wouldn't you love to just have 10 easy things to look for? You're trying to find a daycare for your new baby or a preschool for your toddler, and I've been looking. There is an overload of information. There are so many experts. I am a person who has so much experience, so much knowledge, and I was exhausted by looking at it all. The advice just goes on and on and on. So how about if I give you 10 quick, easy signs, simple, basic, let's say 10 minutes for 10 signs that you can look for. You're going to tour or interview at a daycare or a preschool. Now, as a reminder of who I am, mom for 35 years, grandma. I was a nanny and in childcare since 1981. I've been a housewife for many years. I also have done volunteer work with mothers in every type of social and economic status for 40 plus years. I've worked full-time and had to take my own child to different settings. So I feel like I have a really wide perspective. In my previous videos, I was exposing my anger against these experts who are just loading down all of you parents with hateful and accusatory advice that just makes it harder for you to live. So let's go 10 minutes for 10 signs of the best daycare or preschool you could find. So you arrive to tour or interview a daycare or a preschool. There are some differences, of course, but let's just go through them and we'll separate as we go. Number one, when you get to a daycare or preschool, they better ignore you. That sounds crazy, right? That sounds totally crazy. What I mean by that is the receptionist might talk to you, whatever. Bonus if she doesn't in this sense, but what I mean is the first people who would be the ones interacting with your baby or your child should instantly be focused on your baby, your child. They should essentially ignore you. Because as a baby lover, a child lover, a lover of pipsqueaks, I can tell you, when you love kids, your eyes go to the child first. You have a habit of kind of ignoring the adults because you love children so much. They should basically drop to their knees and be talking to your child before almost they even look at you or talk to you, greet you. Now, this is a great sign. You want them to ignore you, in a sense. This is a sign to look for. People who love children. Number one sign you're looking for. They ignore you. First and foremost, if they are looking and talking at you and they haven't even looked at your child, turn around and leave. Turn around and leave. Now, I'll give the receptionist or the front desk person a pass. Although it's a big bonus if the people in the front office also adore children and they are immediately on your child in all the right ways. Anyone who works in a childcare setting had better love children, and they should be instantly like a magnet to anyone walking in the door who is, under 2 feet tall. And as a person who loves children, I mean, we can't help ourselves. You just, especially when you're meeting them for the first time, you just want to go and talk to them, get to know them, look at them. Okay, I'm going to go over my 10 minutes. They should ignore you. Number one, they should ignore you, the adults. Instantly should be looking at your baby, looking at your child, talking to your child. I mean, obviously they should have sanitized their hands or whatever, but you know what I'm talking about. Instant focus on the child. Number two, you You, mom and or dad, should immediately have a good vibe when you're in there. You walk in the door, you should feel peace and calm. There should be like a peace and calm feeling over you. You should not feel chaos. You should not feel, I don't like this feeling in here. You should feel calm. You should relax. You should feel, you're going to be stressed, of course, because you're going to tour and interview. But when you come in there, there should be a feeling in that place that makes you feel comfortable. Now, remember, if you're taking a toddler, a preschooler who doesn't want to go, because it's kind of that's another topic we could discuss, but they're going to be maybe disagreeable to it. A lot of times they're not, but sometimes they are. Don't go by their immediate reaction. I'm talking about how you feel. Number 3, which really ties into number 1, is as you're walking around, as you're checking everything out, as you're looking through everything, everybody there that you observe should look like they really do love being with children. Love/like. They should look like they really like them. Of course, they're going to be tired once in a while, and it's a job, but they shouldn't look like they're only there because it's a job. I'm sorry, you do have to be kind of tough in this situation, because childcare is not just punch the clock job. As you know, if you are a mom or a dad, taking care of kids requires a special level of patience. It requires a special level of love, kindness, and you can't do that. You can't take care of an infant who's crying, who is inconsolable, a toddler who's screaming, if you don't love/like children. That is not just a job. So you're going to be looking for that. You're going to be scanning for that. You're going to be observing. Number 4, it's clean, but messy. That place should be clean, of course. You need it to be sanitized. It should look clean. The bathroom should look clean. The facility itself. But it should be messy. What do I mean? Well, it should look like it's comfortably, played in there. It should look like kids are allowed to play and have a good time. It should look fun. Think about it. It shouldn't look like it's rigid. It shouldn't look like, well, what's going on here? Are they allowed to get things out? Make a nice, wild, fun time? Build something? Make a tent if they want? Are they allowed to spread things out? Are they allowed to dress up? Can they construct a gigantic block building or whatever they want? Are they allowed to make a tent city if they feel like it? Can they build cardboard? Is there a lot of stuff, which gets into my next point? So pay attention to that. Because if it looks like nobody wants them to make a mess because they don't want to have to clean it up, that tells you something. Now, of course, that doesn't apply to infants, but preschool, daycare. Okay. So a comfortable, fun atmosphere. Number 5, is there a mix of toys and activities, which ties into number 4. So, of course, it has to be divided, appropriate, safe to the age groups. But is there a mix of things that are, as you've learned and studied becoming a parent, things that are appropriate to have imaginative play, that they can have a great time with, have different types of activities? Can they make a mess and get dirty? Art, crafts, lots of different toys, large motor skill toys, hopefully some indoor and outdoor, even for infants, by the way. I hope the infants are not just in a dark room with cribs lined up. The infants should also be going outside. That's sort of tied together. Hopefully there's indoor and outdoor scheduled time every day. All right, so toys and activities. Now, let me look. I had to make notes because I was afraid I was going to forget things. Okay, so number 6. Is there a mix of quiet spaces and loud spaces. And by that, including bright lights. It's not all just bright lights or pitch dark rooms. I've seen this because I have been involved in a vetting process for people going to daycares or going to preschools, and my own children went to preschool. So that's a bit of a red flag. If everything is gigantic fluorescent lights, I mean, this is common sense. You're going to know this. You're going to feel the vibe. But just think about this. If it looks like everything is just, no, it's not fun. And it should also not look like it's full on or dark room, like all bright lights or complete darkness. No. Just be observing this. All right. What else was I thinking? Did I get my number 6? Number 7. You're going to ask them questions. How do they feel about parents dropping in, participating in activities, stopping by at lunchtime, coming in to breastfeed? Now, I'm not saying you're going to do any of this. I want you to say these things or ask these things to see what the reaction is. You know what I'm saying? You're watching. What is the reaction to that? Are parents welcome? Are parents allowed to stop in anytime? Absolutely. Now, as a side point, my real love is if they have cameras. That's my absolute love. I don't know what current situations are because, like I said previously in my videos, I've been sort of retired from nanny work since 2022, 23-ish. I don't know what the current situations are in daycares or preschools. So, perfect situation, there are cameras and you're allowed to look in. That's my dream situation because it's fun and they should welcome that, but that's a side point. It's probably not the situation in most cases, and that's not a deal breaker, but you are going to watch for the reaction. Are parents welcome to come in? And a lot of places used to, last I had heard, allow the mom to come and breastfeed during the day if she wants. Again, I'm not saying you're going to do it. Most moms don't have the time for that, but watch to see the reaction. That's going to tell you a lot about the place. Stopping to have lunch or coming to have lunch with your child. Just look for the reaction. And then, yes, I would love it if there were cameras. But as a side point, will the teacher or the childcare provider send updates during the day? Are there updates posted anywhere during the day? Are there pictures that are sent or posted somewhere during the day if you so desire, if you sign to allow such a thing? Good question to ask. That's number 7. Number 8, specifically for the infant and baby room or rooms, and all the way up to the, say, 12 to 18-month-old. Is this room completely isolated and away from everybody else? All the bigger kids. Of course, they sleep more. The general idea usually is to keep them away and quieter. I don't agree with that, but that's the general way things are done. But are they integrated with the bigger kids? Because that's good for them and that's fun. And I have seen, unfortunately, where I've gone to some daycares and the babies are shoved into this dark room in the back that's literally just lined up cribs, no windows, complete darkness, and they're in a crib all day. Are the babies integrated? Are the babies part of the fun? Are the babies out there getting to be with the kids? And P.S., how much are they going to allow you to tell them what you want that baby schedule to be? When you're dropping an infant all the way up to a year to even 18 months, how much are they going to allow you to tell them how much you want them to have that baby on a certain schedule, sleep schedule? You're going to kind of ask questions like, how is sleep time handled? How do you handle quiet times and nap times? Which is actually question number 9. But to finish question number 8, the providers working with the infants, how much time are they allowed to sit on the floor and play with the infants and sit with the other kids with the infants? That goes along with the same question, but it's good to ask that. Okay, so number 9, you're going to want information about whatever age you're taking there, daycare or preschool. What is the quiet time, nap time, little ritual or routine, the rules, how they handle that? So you're going to say, tell me about how that's handled. They give you that information in the printout or online, but it's good to get someone to speak it to you. Sounds dumb, I know, but a lot of times when they start telling you, you're going to get the actual information, because what's on the website or what you're given in print form is not really how it plays out. So you're going to want to catch someone off guard, shall I say, which I know that sounds terrible, but you do. You kind of want to ask a couple people, so how does that work? How does it usually work with the, whatever age you're dropping off? What's the daily schedule look like? How does it usually happen? I mean, I know that's kind of what you plan, but how does it usually end up working? How often do you put them down? Or how long do they usually stay down? And that kind of thing. These are things you're going to want to ask. Now, number 10 is really the biggest and the best, because especially if you don't have a walking, talking, mostly talking child you're dropping off, this is the best thing you can do. Stay a while. Stay a while and ask, hey, can we hang out a while and, move about, maybe go in some of the rooms or hang out with the kids, even the ones who are not the age of your child, especially if you have one under the age of speaking. You're going to go and integrate yourself into the activities. The best thing in the world you can do is take your little one, get your pipsqueak, and go and sit down, maybe with the group having reading time or some other activity. Hang out a while. You want to get the facts? Hang out a while. Sit yourself down, scoot yourself in between some kids, in amongst some of those little kids. You want to know what's going on in that place all day long? Sit down there. Sit down there and say, hi, how are you? What's your name? And this is my little guy, and his name is, or her name is, she might come here. What do you guys do all day? What's your favorite thing that you do? What's the best toy here? What's the best snack? What's the most fun thing you do when you come here during the day? Who do you have the most fun with? Is there a really great teacher here? And then you're going to do that a few more times in a real nice little fun manner. I'm telling you, you want to get the dirt and the good stuff. You want to get all the good stuff. But you will also find out what the problems are, if there are any. Kids say everything. That's why I love them. Kids are the best. You always know where you stand with kids. You want to find out which kid pushes. You want to find out which baby cries or who does not pick up the babies when they cry. You want to find out what goes on. You want to find out which teacher's talking on her phone all the time or texting all the time. You're going to find out. So just scoot yourself in, hang out a while, and chat. And then you're going to find out everything that goes on there. The best thing to do is to be like, what's your favorite part of the day? What's the not fun part of the day? Like, what's the worst part of the day? Because kids love to just talk and tell you everything that's going on. So, and if a teacher has a problem with that, then there's a red alert there. There's a flashing red light. So, ask some questions. And I'm sorry, I'm in my closet today with my kids' art wall behind me. I had to hide in my closet because, as usual, my husband makes so much noise in his home office and drives me crazy. So, let's review quick, easy, simple points. Daycare, preschool. There are some variations. I could go over deeper, but I thought I'm getting, responses from people. I'm getting reactions, people saying, they'd like to have a little bit more on certain topics. Surprisingly, someone actually cares about what I have to say. And it's clear I'm an amateur. I'm sorry. I don't know how to edit videos. I guess I should say, I'm literally unsocial. I don't have any social media except this now. And I've never even seen Facebook. I shouldn't even admit that. Don't have TikTok. I tried Instagram once and I couldn't stand it. So I deleted it. So I apologize. But I feel so irritated, as I have such rage as a mother, as a 40-year childcare provider, as when I see these nasty experts who are so ego motivated, or whatever you want to call them. I can't tolerate it. And I just feel like I care about parents. I care about moms and dads. I care about you. I can't put up with this and I can't not say something. So I apologize for the way I do this. I don't know what I'm doing. And I guess if all of you have something you would like to hear more about, I have made stacks of cards with thoughts that have come into my head or things people have said. But here's a review. Signs, simple, easy signs of a good daycare or preschool when you arrive to tour or interview. Number one, they ignore you. They go straight for the babies and the kids and talk to them first. They drop down, eye level. They're looking at your babies and your kids, talking to them. Number two, you immediately feel a really good vibe. You feel calm, you relax. You can see that everything feels really good there. Number three, everyone there is obviously a person who likes/loves children. Number four, it's clean, it's sanitary, but it's comfortably messy. It's clear kids are allowed to drag stuff out, make a mess, build stuff, make a big tent, make gigantic messes with blocks. It's not like rigid. It's comfortable. It's a fun atmosphere. Number five, there is a good mix of toys and activities. Obviously divided, appropriate for age and safety, choking hazards, but there's a good mix. And hopefully indoor and outdoor activities, hopefully some outdoor toys too. I didn't say that before. But number six, a mix of quiet spaces and loud spaces. Not all bright lights and complete darkness, but a nice subtle mix. Reading spaces, loud play spaces are allowed, quiet napping spaces. Number seven, they welcome parents dropping in, parents visiting, parents participating in things, moms who want to come and breastfeed, deliver pumped milk, whatever you want. You're the parents. And bonus, if they have cameras, or they post or will send you pictures or updates during the day, if you so desire. Number eight, the infant, baby, up to a year to 18-month rooms are not completely isolated from everybody else, and they are not kept completely isolated from everyone else. They are allowed to integrate with the big kids and play, obviously supervised and watched for safety, but they get to have fun with them. They get to observe them. They get to watch the big kids because babies love that. They love to hear all the commotion. They love it. They're not just in a dark room in a crib all day. I'm sorry, my ironing board is wobbly. Do the providers sit with them, play with them, interact with them? You'll be able to see if you stay long enough. Number nine, ask questions like, Tell me about how nap times and quiet times go. What's his usual routine end up being? I know what it says on the website, but how does it usually really play out? Tell me how it usually works. Find out what the actual schedule is. And number 10, stay a while, insert yourself, get in there with the kids who talk, and find out what really happens. They will give you all the dirt and all the good stuff. You'll find out who the best teachers are. You'll find out who the best childcare providers are in the daycare. The ones who really are fun, the ones who really do the best stuff with the kids, the ones that are the most liked. And then you'll just know. It'll like the sea will part, and you will know exactly who you want, who you don't want, where you want to be, and if you even want to be at that daycare or that preschool. There's your top 10 easy, simple points. We don't need all this garbage, this excessive advice, this overload of advice that's on everywhere. They just pound you to death. Moms and dads, you don't need this. First of all, your gut is 9 times out of 10, your gut is right. You don't need to be paralyzed and confused by this overload of information. So here are the signs of a good daycare or preschool. Another topic we could cover is babysitters or nannies in your house. What should you look for? I had a guide that was 20 questions, and they're very simple and easy too. Slightly different. Obviously, it's different. You're having people in your home. Different situation. A nanny is extremely important. I'm tougher than anyone on that deal. That's a topic that we could discuss. Should you even consider daycare versus an in-home situation? If you can afford to do an in-home situation, which is better for you? It depends on your family, but there are points to think about. That's one. Here's some other topics. Sleep conditioning. I hear this continuously. Sleep conditioning and sleep training. Well, sleep conditioning begins day 1 when you come home from the hospital, or day 1 if you've home birthed. And sleep training is actually accidental if you do sleep conditioning right. It's way, way overblown. All this stuff that everybody's talking about. There are 1,000 different videos on this, and it's ridiculous. Y'all don't need all this. You mamas, you're overloaded on this too. You don't need to take a million steps for it. It makes me sad to see everything that you're put through. We could discuss that. We could do a video on that. And then, of course, there's preparing for a baby. The overconsumption garbage that's out there. Overbuying, cluttering up your lives. You only need a few simple things. I've done and seen this with so many people. You only need a few things. You really don't need all this stuff that people are telling you have to buy. What you need is important, but it's very few things. I have a few of my favorites. You don't need that many. Toddlers, screaming, throwing, biting, hitting. I see thousands, probably, videos addressing that. Could do that. No, no, no. The word no. Save the word no for when you really need it, okay? We could talk about that. That's a topic. Timeout. Please throw out timeout, and I could tell you why. All right. 20 questions and easy clues to look for in an in-home childcare provider, a nanny. We could talk about that. When you bring home your newborn, day 1. I don't see anyone addressing this. Day 1, hour 1 through 12, the first 12 hours. You mamas come home, and I know what you're going through. You're going through misery. You're bleeding. You're sitting on ice packs. Every time you nurse, you're having contractions that are bringing you right out of your, I know. your nipples hurt, you got people standing over you giving you unsolicited advice on everything. You've got a baby who's maybe not latching. You have a partner who may or may not be helpful. You may have another child climbing on you, another child standing next to you, trying to show you their schoolwork. Believe me, I've been there. Seen it, I've been there, I've lived it. I know all about it. What should your first 12 hours be? What should you be focusing on? What do you need? That's a subject that I do not see addressed. Another one, a contrast. A day in the life of a baby at home with a mom who is a mom in the home all day long versus a day in the life of a baby whose mom is a working mother. Is there a big contrast? Guess what? We could talk about that. Let's do a chart because I'm sick and tired of hearing all this stuff online on these videos. Working moms are pounded into the ground. But guess what? If we do a breakdown of the two, at home, mom's at work, baby at home, you'd be surprised what the differences are and what they're not. And I go on and on and on. We could talk about toddlers. We could talk about preschoolers. We could talk about discipline. We could talk about, I've got such a long list. And the thing is, you can think, okay, well, what does she know? Well, that's what I thought. I don't really know anything. I'm sorry, my ironing board is wobbling. I don't really have anything to go up against these experts, these trained experts. But you know what? I do. I kind of do. Because if you've raised children successfully and had the joy of spending time observing over 70 children as a childcare provider, one-on-one, and then done volunteer work with people where you've worked with moms, helping them take care of their children and helping them learn how to do things, or just interacted with them. If they're doing a great job, then you learn things from them. And then I've worked full-time, different stages in my life where I had to not be with my children. So I've lived the other side of it. I've worked part-time when I had children at home. I feel like I've had every side of this. I feel like I've got the perspective of everything. Whereas every expert I see, I'm sorry, most of them, well, I shouldn't say most, many are men. And so I don't want to hear mom advice from men. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't. Do you? I don't. Plus, the other thing is my sister-in-law has been doing in-home daycare in her house for over 40 years also. And she's a fabulous childcare provider. She's gone to graduations and weddings, and she has second generation of children she has taken care of. She's like got a waiting list, and she does a great job. So there are so many aspects to this that I've seen the whole spectrum, and I feel there's some experience-driven knowledge, let's say, that I've gathered. I've lived it, I've observed it, been on all sides of it, and I feel like that means there's wisdom that can be shared. Think what you want, Now I've had a response that sweetly has been, people I know, people I've worked for, wonderful people. If any of you all out there have heard these different possible topics, I guess subscribe, comment, whatever, I don't know. If you have something specific you'd like me to talk about, I'd address. I guess I'm thinking of making some of these videos. Obviously, I need to be shorter than this. This is too long. But wouldn't it be nice to just do some quick, to the point, simple, moms and dads, you just need some balanced parenting tips that you can take and run with. You don't need someone just telling you, do this, do this, do this. It's more of like sending you down the path. Like, you're doing great. Most parents I see are doing so well, and they don't need a bunch of rules and regulations. There, a lot of times, are not right and wrong answers. There's more than one way to do things. I've seen that. I've had enough experience to see that. I've seen many families be successful doing things different ways. What I can offer you is some best choice, to make things a little easier on you from what I've gathered. Like watching a lot of people, helping a lot of people, doing it myself. Like, here's the easiest way to get through this. Like, we're all trying to get the easiest way, right? We're trying to be simplified. We're trying to find the best way to accomplish things. So we can all be not as stressed, not as filled with anxiety. And early parenting is hard. We're just like our faces are right in it, and it's so hard to step back and relax and enjoy it. So if anybody has a specific topic they'd like to talk, to cover, please let me know. I literally do know anything about this. I'm very sorry. My wobbly ironing board is definitely giving me away. So, 10 signs of a good daycare or preschool, and that could go in more depth also. And really enjoy talking to y'all, even though I'm truly not very social. But I appreciate that some moms and dads are really liking to get maybe some more down-to-earth, basic parenting advice that is only motivated by really care and concern. I don't have a big motive here other than I cannot stand it when people are getting ripped off or treated badly. Like, these motives are just garbage. So let's put a stop to these people who are out for not the good of others. So I might make another little video here and get it posted if I can figure out how to do things right and edit. Sorry. This is Coco. Have a wonderful day.